What is going on, everyone? It's GeneralTarheel bringing you the SDL Season 4 Week 11 battle versus Coach Darky and the Montreal Mawiles. Coming into Week 11, we just had our Week 10 battle against Coach Justin, got a nice win there, and we are at 7-3, end of the season, confirmed playoffs. And at this point, I am confirmed number 3 in the league, no matter if I win or lose, because Loris already won his battle for Week 11. So going into this, I was like, it's not a big deal. I was busy anyways with stuff going on. So I didn't really try too hard this week, as you could probably just tell by looking at the team. But Darky definitely wanted to try so he get a better chance at playoffs because there's still people that could pass him if I beat Darky. But I just decided to go for some sets I wanted to try out, and then at the same time, I just didn't have too much time. So that's why I did that. But so looking at Darky's roster real quick, the Montreal Mawiles have Latias, Sylveon, Crocodile, Vaporeon, Decidueye, Shedinja, Megastelix, Tornadus T, Volcarona, Snorlax, and Hitmonlee. I don't know how this man had a pretty low record. I know he got hacked out one game by like a flinch from a waterfall, but like the rest of them, like that's a pretty scary roster in my opinion. I didn't want to deal with it necessarily. That's another thing. Like when I was team building, like if I was actually gonna try, it was gonna be hard because his team counters me just very well. Like Megastelix can wall, like absolutely just wall Tapu Koko. Torn T does a lot of damage to my team, especially if it's Scarf. Snorlax can be bulky. If it's set up Volcarona, I can just lose. Just like his team counters mine so well, like on the offensive side and even defensive, like Steelix and stuff. So I wasn't gonna go too hard this battle. I was just gonna, just go for it and then get ready for the playoffs because I'm not gonna get my bye or anything like that. It does change who I might face the first round of playoffs, but it's whatever. So first off, we have an Adamant Beedrill with Fell Stinger, Poison Jab, Knockoff, Drill Run. This was basically just hoping to get a Fell Stinger sweep if he wasn't max defense Steelix, and I got a little bit of damage off on it already. Then +3 Mega Beedrill could sweep if he had nothing that could outspeed it at that point, because nothing else really took a hit on his team. I mean, probably like a bulk Snorlax could eat one, but other than that, everything really like basically got swept on his team. I just had to bring that knockoff just in case he brought Shedinja, because it's like the last week, so I figured he might, but I forgot he had to actually try. So I'm gonna call him out for trying, but it's not a bad thing because he needs to for playoffs. I was just tired at this point. I didn't really want to battle. I just wanted to get it over with. But next up we have a Sashtok Trio. This is kind of a basic set compared to the other ones. Just Earthquake, Stone Edge, Stealth Rock, Toxic. Just to spread stuff around, trap something if I can. And next up is something I wanted to try because it actually did a decent amount of work versus his team. Was Scarf Milotic. We were 252, modest basically. Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Hidden Power, Electric, and Toxic. Hydro Pump just for most damage. Ice Beam because ice coverage does a lot versus his team. I can see why I picked up Snorlax for the thick fat and such. Then we have Hidden Power, Electric just in case of the Vaporeon, and Toxic in case I just want to get status on something. Whether it be something that I might set up or the Vaporeon or the Latias. And then next up we have another basic set with Tangrowth, which is just defensive Rocky Helmet. It just walls Steelix and Snorlax and stuff like that, so I felt like it needed to come. We have Leech Seed, Rock Slide, Toxic, and Giga Drain, I believe, in order just to stall out a few things. Volcarona, if it tries to set up, we can get at least 50% damage on it with Rock Slide. If Torn wants to offensively come in, like Card Switch, I can get a Rock Slide off on that. Stuff like that. So Tang was just a basic set. Next up we had a Sap Sipper Miltank with a lot of speed and attack with some special defense. This is mainly just to switch into like what do you have on his team? Sap Sipper and Decidueye and what else? Because there was another reason. Oh yeah, the Giga Drain Volcarona. The reason I also brought it. Voice crack, oh my god. But it had Power Punch, Rock Slide, Ice Punch, and Return. It was just going to do a decent amount of damage, mainly just be trolly with that Sap Sipper. It'd be helpful a little bit in the battle. And then lastly, Klefki, just a troll set. Spadef with Okaberry, Magnet Rise, T-Wave, Spikes, and Play Rough. This was mainly just because I can live any hit from Volcarona or Tornadus before any additional adds from Heat Wave or Flamethrower, Fire Blast, whatever. and get off a T-Wave on it. And then I can get up spikes versus team if his possible defogger goes down. And I play rough just to hit anything just in case. Magnetize just makes it so Steelix can't hit me with Earthquake, Snorlax can't hit me with Earthquake, stuff like that. But starting off turn 1, I just want to lead the Milotic because I know it did a lot versus team. The only things that would be really good counters to it turn 1 are going to be the Snorlax and the Decidueye. So starting off turn 1, we lead Milotic, and he leads Volcarona, and I knew he wasn't going to predict it, so Hydro Pump right off the bat, and we get the kill. So that looks good, but that's actually the end of the game right there. So we go just hard Tangrowth here. As he goes for the U-turn, getting the momentum with the Decidueye. Didn't even know this thing had U-turn. I just don't like the Decidueye. Probably won't try it. Takes the Rocky Helmet. He goes Torn. I go hard Milotic in case of the possible Heat Wave for either Tang or Klefki switch in. He goes for Knockoff. As I just go for the Ice Beam here. I was hoping we were going to get the outspeed here. I didn't know if he was max speed, but he does get the outspeed. I should have just went into Miltank here because that's the best counter to Decidueye. But now we make the switch. So I go for the Ice Punch on the Lottie here. Doesn't do too much because it's defensive bulky Lottie. But we decided to go for Power Punch here in case he goes for cover. But he opts to go for the Toxic on Miltank, which is like, whatever. Miltank's here just to wear down a team and be trolly, you know? So I go for another Ice Punch, getting it low. And seeing that wish, no one going to switch out right here. Probably into Steelix, because by the looks of the team, it's a really bulky defensive Steelix. And indeed it is, because I go for the Power Up Punch, and that does nothing. Absolutely nothing. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, this is pointless. So I go Tangrowth on the Mega Steelix. Goes for the Earthquake. We absolutely eat that up. And then right here, I'm just going for the Leech Seed. So he gets up Stealth Rocks. And now after the Leech Seed, I'm sure he'll switch. So I opt to go for Rock Slide, being capable of hitting anything on his team. As he goes into Torn, Rock Slide will do 50%, 53. But we are forced to switch here as he can get off a free Hurricane as we go Klefki. Klefki can eat that up though. And it will opt to go hard right into Latias, which was interesting, not Mega Steelix, which is probably his better play. But he takes the T-Wave and then goes Mega Steelix as I go for Play Rough and we do approximately 5. That's more than I predicted. We just go right back in the Tangrowth as he predicts that and make a switch into Torn because Darky's going hard for playoffs. As I call him out a nerd in the chat, even though I would make plays like that in normal games probably, so GG on his part. Just needs to sack something to a Hurricane here, so it's whatever. And then I go hard Mega B. This is because Adamant Poison Jab kills, but of course he is Scarf Torn. It's like I thought anyways. At least it didn't cross my mind. I just had no other way of killing this thing, or got a kill against me. So we go Klefki. Just goes Mega Steelix. I can go hard back into Tang, but because of Tornadus' amazing regen ability, he can go right back into Tangrowth, or into right back into Tornadus if he wanted to. But he goes for the Ice Fang and he takes Rocky Helmet. So I'm just gonna keep clicking Rock Slide because they'll switch eventually and it'll do damage to something. I was hoping for him to just go for Hurricane here and miss, but the man's got Sludge Wave tech, so can't do anything there. We have to go Klefki here. Go right back into Steelix. We double into Dougie, but it doesn't matter at this point. Steelix is max defense. Even if I was Adamant Choice Band, Dougie couldn't kill here. He would have to be a Spadef set in order for me to get a kill from that range, but he was max defense. And we're just going to go for a Magnetize here to troll him, but the game's over, so it doesn't really matter. He's going to go into Snorlax, and I managed to miss 3 T-Waves to end off the regular season. So I don't know who I'm going to face week 1. I hope it's not a chance of Darky. I know I'm going to be facing the person at the bottom of the ladder. I guess that's not really bottom of the ranks. Number 6 of the overall. So hopefully it's not Darky. Hopefully it's someone else, because it's not the fact that well, I mean, he played well, of course, and I just played like I wanted to. But his team counters mine so well, like I already said. Like, I just don't want to face him. I'll face anyone else, but I just don't want to face Darky again. But that'll be it from this week for the SDL. Make sure to check out the APA. I will make sure that one's more competitive because I'm facing Jock, who's one of the higher battlers in the league. We're both 5-1, so want to make sure I give him a good battle if I just can't win it all. But make sure to check that out. Sub, like, share, deuces.